stayed last night under the tent at St. Mary of the Assumption. There's a porta potty hiding around the corner there in the old school. I'm not sure if it's open or not. I think it must be because there were some lights on last night. But this is the back side of the church. And hikers can come in here during the day when the parish center is open and use the facilities, and then at night you have to use the porta potty. But it's very nice of them to open up their space to us. There's not a lot of information, but a little hiker welcome sign here, and just inside the foyer there's a place for donations and a logbook so you can register or sign in. And right here by the door there's an outlet, which is handy. The stay at the church last night was pretty good. Not a whole lot of amenities there, but the building is open during the daytime for hikers to be able to go in and charge up their stuff and use the facilities. They close at 7 sharp. No warning. I was about to walk in and get a stamp, the AT stamp for my book, and the door had been locked just like that. I had just walked out maybe 3 minutes before. But anyway, that's fine. It's very nice of them to open up and allow us to tent in the yard there. And it was kind of funny because actually I think it was the chief of police drove by. I think he was stopping for something else, but he had half a case of beer that he left for us hikers to drink. I thought that was pretty cool. And there were only 3 of us, so it was a pretty quiet night, but it stormed. Oh my gosh, did it storm. There were severe thunderstorm warnings, and it just rained and rained and rained. And the forecast today is for rain all day, but as you can see, it's not raining on me at the moment. So I've got my fingers crossed that maybe the forecast will be wrong, as it often is, and I'll get at least some dry weather for climbing up Mount Greylock. But that remains to be seen. Just like Dalton, the AT winds through town a little ways before going back into the woods. And Cheshire, I understand, is a relatively new trail town. I think Dalton's been a trail town for a few years. And Chester's still, I guess, getting the hang of it. But I think it's pretty cool that they wanted to go through the effort to become designated as a trail town. And hopefully over time there'll be more resources for hikers. There is a Dollar General and Shell station, both of which you can resupply. The Shell's better for food. We got dinner there. I had a salad and some chicken. I had a chicken salad sandwich. And so they have fresh food and even cold cuts that you can get there, sliced to order. But Dollar General is better for just general resupply. Like they had tuna there, which they didn't have at Shell. So we ended up going back and forth across the street a couple times to get everything we needed. But it worked out. And if you're coming in southbound, you'll see those right as you come into town. Northbound, they're on the other side, but you can also walk through town to get to them. That's what we did last night. And here's the turnoff for the AT, right between 2 buildings. So I'm gonna head down this way. I think it actually takes me through town a little ways further before I hit the woods in earnest. I stopped to put on some bug spray before going into this field here because the mosquitoes were coming out, and I saw that little bunny. He's just having breakfast. Cute. All right, and now we're in a cornfield. This is some tall corn. I've been climbing up for a little bit, and I came around the bend and found a little bench. I was looking for one of these yesterday and couldn't find one, but don't need a break right now. And it looks like the terrain is changing. I'm going to be going through another field. Well, here's my sign for the day. It says Nopal Shelter is about 3.8. That might be a good place for second breakfast. Mount Greylock Summit is 6.8 and Warburg Clearing is 10.5, and hopefully that will be my destination for the night. We'll see how the day goes. Cross right here. Hiking alongside this little creek here. I know it's hard to tell because I'm way up here and that's pretty steep. It's probably 12 feet down, and it's so funny because the camera doesn't pick that up at all. But it's a beautiful misty morning, and first I wasn't sure if it was misty because my glasses are so foggy from the humidity, but I took them off and checked, and yes, it is misty here in the woods. Really pretty. I've realized I'm carrying a little bit too much water. I'm not going to dump it out. I'm just going to drink it. It would lighten my load a bit. And I also was reading in the the ATC guide, the companion this morning, about the hike up Mount Greylock, and it mentioned that it's the biggest climb since the Shenandoahs. It's about a 2,000 foot climb. And I thought, wow, that's one advantage of having done my leapfrog, because I've still got my climbing legs. I haven't been doing the smaller ups and downs for a couple months like a lot of other hikers have, so hopefully that will work in my favor today. And I'm also very thankful that it's not raining on me at the moment. I even saw a couple spots of sunshine, and every mile that you don't get poured on is a good mile. This lovely little creek is the trail. We're having fun. Sometimes you just give into the mud. I just stepped in, gosh, almost all the way up to my ankle. And I'm about over fighting it, so there we go again. It's pretty bad. So I'm gonna just, I don't know, use these boards when they're available, but for the most part I think I'll just be traipsing through the mud. Well, here's the turnoff for the Mark Nopal shelter. I just went down there and had an early lunch. I got there about 11 and stayed a little longer than I intended. I got to talking with another hiker, but it was cool. It was nice to have a good break. And I am heading to, let's see, the Wilbur Clearing shelter after I cross Mount Greylock. So that's about 7 miles to go for the day, which shouldn't be a problem. And some fog rolled in while I was sitting down there at the shelter, and the temperature dropped by, seemed like 8 degrees maybe. And I debated putting on my rain jacket just to keep me warm, because it certainly doesn't keep me dry. But I decided to go ahead and hike on, because usually I get pretty warm when I hike. And if I find myself feeling chilly, then I will go ahead and put it on later. I am almost to the summit of Mount Greylock. I've just got this road to cross, and I understand there's a steep up coming. I actually feel like I've climbed it 3 or 4 times, because we keep going up and then down and then up and then down. So I'm pretty sure this is the last up, hopefully. And then I'll be able to take a little break and warm up there and head on down to the shelter. There's a pretty little pond here near the top of the mountain. And it looks like a cabin or something over there. I'm not sure. I think we're actually in a state park. Not 100% sure on that either, but it's real foggy, and I just passed some day hikers and they said there's no view at the top. So I will go up, try to dry off, and, well, I know that's impossible. Drip off a little bit and then be on my way. In fact, I was a little apprehensive about this hike. I don't know, I just was doubting my abilities a bit, and especially in the rain, I was afraid it would be real rocky and slippery. And it really hasn't been bad at all. I've actually enjoyed it quite a bit. And I'm thankful that my legs are good and strong. And my foot, the sprained foot, seems to be holding up pretty well. So I'm pleased with that as well. All in all, so far, not a bad day. I've got 4 miles to go after the summit to get down to the shelter, and I should be there by 4:30, so nice, easy day, which tells me that maybe it's time for me to start pushing some more miles. Well, here I am. This is the Bascom Lodge, and this would be the view, but there isn't one, so this is actually what it would look like if we could see it. Looks like I won't be getting any hot tea. They close today at 2 p.m. and it's 1:55, so I'm out of luck unless I go up to the summit and make some for myself. So I'm gonna head that way. I doubt there's any real shelter up there, but I'm gonna take a peek, and if not, I'll just continue on down to the shelter that I'm staying at for the night. Well, this is the War Memorial Tower. I almost didn't see it from 20 feet back because it's so obscured in the clouds. Well, I got lucky after all. This is the Thunderbolt shelter. It's a ski warming shelter, and it's also for emergency use only. So I heard that sometimes thru-hikers can stay here, but I'm just using it just for a little bit to make my tea and have a snack. And I met another guy whose name was Vagabond, and he's doing a long section, and he's heading down to the shelter tonight too, so there will be some other folks to hang out with, which will be nice.